In today's Style File, we're taking one beauty errand off your to-do list. That is taking the kids for a haircut. Instead, Studio 5 style and beauty contributor Megan Moore is putting the scissors in our own hands. I'm kind of scared.
Yeah, it's okay.
This is going to be a live action tutorial because I need this more than most, I think. I'm curious about the ability to do this. Is it reasonable to give kids regular trims?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're gonna do a big drastic haircut, a salon's probably still the best option.
Sure.
But for maintenance and just keeping your kids looking, you know, put together,
Yeah.
it's so affordable to do it this way, and it really is not that hard. Just practice a little bit.
Famous last words.
Yeah.
Don't worry, my own daughter is going to be my test dummy, so heaven help her. But do you find most moms are doing this already?
I think it's kind of split down the middle. I think some moms are totally game for it, and other moms are scared of it.
I'm
so
in
they
that category.
They just don't. But I think if you give yourself permission to be like, okay, the first couple of haircuts aren't going to be fantastic,
Okay.
and that's okay because they usually grow out in just a couple weeks and then it looks fine.
Yeah.
So just give yourself permission to know that it's going to take a little bit of practice for the kid too, and then everything is great.
Everything's going to work out.
Yeah.
You obviously cut your own child's hair. You're a trained professional, so this is nothing for Zoe, who's with Emmy, my little, and they're going to come out and be our helpers today. You guys ready? Look at these two fast friends. I love it. So do you cut your kids' hair at home, Megan, or at the salon?
I do at home because then they can have their iPads, they can have their TV and be a little bit more distracted. And then if there are tears, you're not at the salon where you might feel embarrassed or uncomfortable if it's at home. So I feel like it's just a little bit more easygoing at home.
Okay, what are we doing?
So we're gonna first get a cape. You can buy cute kids capes on Amazon or at the beauty supply like Sally. Aren't they great?
They're
but
darling.
it really does help to have a cape because then they don't have the itchy, you know, hair on the neck, which they all hate, and they start squirming. So
good point.
A good cape is a really good idea.
So here I think it's just a cute accessory, but we're gonna go for
it's also super cute. Makes them feel like a superhero.
Okay.
Okay, and then the next thing we want to do is if we look at the whole hair overall, it's overwhelming. So we want to go ahead and divide it into smaller sections. Will be a lot less overwhelming.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take a parting clip, and you can grab these at a beauty supply, and we're just gonna focus on the back lower section right now.
Now her hair's parted. Oh, Zoe's
keep it
too.
parted and keep it. And I like to do it on dry hair. And so Zoe actually has a little bit of curl, and I straightened it out. The reason I like dry hair is because there's no surprises.
Okay.
It's not going to shrink up and then all of a sudden be 2 inches shorter than you were planning, right?
Emmy, are you nervous to have Mommy cut your hair? Yeah, a little bit.
So good.
A little bit.
So we're just gonna get her top hair out of the way, and it's gonna look really silly, but that's okay.
Zoe, are you nervous for your mom to cut your hair?
No, not too nervous.
Professional.
So what you're looking for is you want to have something like this, where we're just kind of focusing on this back section right there. And we're gonna start this as our guide section. So I'm gonna comb this down and get it all nice and smooth.
And we should say we're starting with little girls. You're going to give us some little boy tips in just a little bit.
Yeah,
so
we're going to
moms
cut
out
a little
there,
boy's hair soon too, so you'll get a little bit of both. Now the thing with this is you always want to start in the center. And then that's going to be your guideline, and then you'll go out from there. If you try to cut a line across like this, that's how we end up going down or up and creating, oh, too short, too long, and we could do all, so. What we're going to do is I'm going to kind of come around here and I'm going to squat down,
and
so
I'm just
I'm
going
out
to
of the way.
watch for a minute. Emmy, we're going to watch Megan and Zoe.
Hold your head
and then
still,
we'll
Zoe, and look down for me. Perfect.
And the look down, what does that do?
That stretches the hair longer so that we don't have surprises like, oh, it's so much shorter. So I'm going to take a section in the middle, and I'm going to take my scissors and just cut across there. I'm only going to trim about 1 inch to start, and that's going to be my guideline. And then I'm going to match it on both sides. That way we don't end up with something that's just totally lopsided. Oh my gosh. I'm
like sweating over here. Hey, Emmy, be like Zoe, and I'll be like Megan. Put your head that way.
Hold still.
Hold still. Put your head down, chin down. There you go.
And it helps too if you, I mean, these stools have a high back, which makes it a little bit harder. If you have one that doesn't have a high back, that makes it nice, because then you don't run into that problem. Okay. So you're gonna hold it and cut below the fingers. Perfect. Make sure your fingers are out of the way. That's a really important tip. And once you feel pretty good about your straight line, then you can grab some more hair and add more and keep going.
Okay, can I ask you, Emmy still has kind of the baby hairs in front that are short. What do you do with those?
So we'll just trim them the same and let them kind of eventually grow into the rest of her hair. So I'm gonna add a little bit more down to Zoe's again. And it's
oh my gosh.
How did it go?
Well, you know, I mean, she's holding perfectly still, so it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna come and I'm gonna squat down below so I'm out of the camera's way a little bit.
Emmy, am I doing a great job? Yeah?
Yeah.
Say it louder.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure you felt it, that you really meant it.
So I'm pulling my line down. I'm started in the middle. I'm cutting below my fingers really carefully and slow.
Oh, you're going for it. Zoe, girl, you're getting a trim.
Yeah.
I'm over here kind of faking it and hoping Megan will even me out later, but whatever.
Then I'm gonna marry each section. I'm gonna bring it back to that middle line, and that way I know that my line's gonna be straight all the way across.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, so we do it a section at a time, starting in the middle. I think that would surprise a lot of people, working your way outside, although when you explained it, it makes perfect sense. And maybe you touched on this and I was like distracted in my fear, but the scissors, do we want a good solid pair of scissors?
Yeah,
obviously.
Grab a pair of scissors. You don't need to spend too much. I would say in the $40 range, you can get them at the beauty supply or on Amazon. I'll have a whole list of everything I recommend for at home on my blog. So that way you can gather everything and then you'll have everything that you need. So, working around all the way to the front.
I really don't know. You know what's happening over here? Okay.
I'll fix it. I'll fix it. But then the same thing in the front. We just want to make sure that we find our guide from the back, where we already started, and then I'm going to work my way around to the front the same way, just cutting a little at a time. And I always say start with less, because you can always take off more, but you can't put it back on.
Yes, we've all learned that in the hair chair once or twice, right? Okay, would you say, you guys were great. Zoe, you look darling. Emmy, you do too. Don't worry, Megan's gonna save our hair lives, okay?
Yep, we'll fix it.
We're gonna bring out Cute James in a minute and show those techniques. Do you find girls or boys, is there an easier or harder gender divide?
I don't think so. I think it's just more about practicing and getting them to hold still and then finding your technique that works. I think suckers for bribery and iPads are a great option.
Okay, all right, everybody wave to Grandma. Zoe say hey, Emmy say hi, Nana. All right, your mom learned Megan was the best and you'll save our hair lives, as I said, of course you will. All right, we're not done yet. We'll learn along as Megan shows us a boy's trim right after the break. Not too bad though, not too bad. Okay, save time and money on your kids' haircuts by doing them yourself at home. Before the break, Megan helped me learn how to cut my own little Emmy's hair. A little worse for the wear. We're gonna work on it. We're gonna work on it now that I've mastered. We'll say that. Megan's gonna show us how to trim a little boy's hair, and we have the cutest little boy in all the land.
Isn't he so cute? This is James.
Hi, James.
He came to help us out. All right, so when we're doing a boy's haircut, I think clippers are still gonna be the easiest, at least through the sides and the back, right? Okay. And then I like to do scissors on the top to keep it a little bit longer, but you can do clippers on the top too.
Okay, and are all clippers created equally, or what are we looking for?
Definitely not. I would say go for something at a beauty supply versus like Walmart. Amazon has some great options too, but again, I'll have a list of all of my recommended that people can go through, but that will help. So the thing with clippers is you wanna know, a lot of people say, I don't know what size of guard to use.
Sure.
So the thickest part of the guard is gonna be what is left over on your head. So if you look at it sideways, you'll know, okay, oh, that's gonna give me about a ½ an inch, that kind of thing. Okay, and same thing with boys' haircuts. We're actually gonna start in the back center
James,
and then work away. I know, isn't he so cute? Okay, tip your head forward for me, buddy.
Put your chin down.
Yep, okay, so we're gonna place that guard in and just start slicing up and then kind of roll away from the hair like this. Okay, put your head up a little bit more, buddy. Perfect. Up and then kind of rolling out like that. Yep, and that's gonna give us kind of that faded look so that it doesn't have a really harsh line. So quick and easy, and this is the part where sometimes little boys don't love the clippers around the ear.
James is being so brave.
So good, go around the ear. Awesome. And then we'll clean up all of the long stuff around the ears at the end.
How many times should you, maybe this is a dumb question, all of my questions in this category could be dumb because we've seen how expertise I am at this, how expert I am. How many times should you go through the same section of hair?
I would go over it 2 or 3 times just to make sure you got it. You can hear when it's cutting and when it's not. So if it no longer makes that cutting sound, if you don't hear any hair coming off, then you know it's gotten short enough. Okay, so we go all the way around the ears.
James, your shoes are so handsome too. I mean, we've been talking about kindergarten shoes, this morning. They're so cool.
Okay, now we're gonna go back and we'll clean all that up, but just for the sake of time, I like to give the top a little bit of spray.
Okay, so we do wet when it comes
just
to boys'
a little
hairs.
bit. The reason is that dry hair likes to fling everywhere. Okay. So when it's wet, it makes less of a mess. Okay. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna start in the center and make our guide in the center. Okay. Make sure our fingers and our knuckles are out of the way.
Woo! Woo!
Down on your nose.
You got a little peekaboo on your eye, huh?
Sorry, buddy.
Close those blinkers, buddy.
Yeah, close those eyes for a minute. So we're going through the center, okay, and that's gonna start our guide, and then we're gonna make the sides come up to it.
He's so cute. He's like, where'd this confetti come from falling from the ceiling?
Okay, so then we match the sides, and I'm just working back from his forehead, back all the way to the crown of his head. So
and you're so smooth, but I mean, really practice, right?
Yeah.
As you're working the comb and working the scissors, that's just gonna take some time.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time, and just always, like I said, make sure your knuckles are out of the way, and then you'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna start our center line, and then go to the side, and we're gonna marry that, and we just keep going back further and further, and always find our guide. See my guide, my short guide there?
The last snip, it becomes the guide for the next.
Yes,
okay.
exactly, and we just keep going back.
The only experience I have, bless him, I cut my buddy Jacob Cook's hair back in college, and I think we ended up with a buzz at the end of the day. So I haven't picked up the scissors since.
And that's okay. Like, if it doesn't go great, give it 2 weeks and it will grow out and it will be fine, right? So give yourself permission to say, oh, that wasn't fantastic. We'll try again next time.
Well, I've got you styles for little boys. I know we kind of had the faux hawk for a minute.
Yeah.
We had the, I mean, what's in right now?
Still kind of the really short sides with the long top swept over is really
kind of
in.
the Gordon Hayward. Can I say his name? Are we forgiven that?
It's still in.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So,
well, Megan, thank you so much. You mentioned you're going to have kind of an all supply buy list.
Yep.
Where can we find that?
I'll have a buy guide on thebeautysnoop.com so you can find everything you need there.
Okay, buddy, you're looking good.
Looks so good. Smile.
Oh, the girls are going to go wild. Like
So
they weren't
handsome.
already. Who's your kindergarten teacher?
Mrs. McDonald.
Mrs. McDonald. Say hi, Mrs. McDonald. Thanks for letting me take a field trip. Megan, this was awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
We'll link you over to the Beauty Snoop website so you can get all the buys and have all the tools to save the time and money on your own kids' trims. I'm going to work on it too. I commit.